Hello guys! Sa araw na ito ay nais ko po sa inyo i-share ang mga difficult words. Kung may nais po kayo pong maipalabas po sa tanong ito, ay pwede po kayo mag-comment down below. At kung may nais man po ng shoutout, ay pwede rin po mag-comment down below. So, hope you enjoy guys!
A few moments later.
Difficult words of letter F. Fabaceous, like a bean. Fabian, pertaining to Q. Fabius Maximus, a Roman general, and his cautious tactics and avoidance of open battle. Fabian society, society advocating a gradual approach to socialism. Fabiform, bean shape. Fabulis, recounter of fables, liar. Facetiae, humorous remarks or writings, pornographic books. Facetiation, making humorous remark, etc. Fascia, fascia. Phasis, medicine, facial expression, a symptom, general aspect or appearance. Facile princeps, easily the first. Facilis descensus averno or averni, the road to evil or hell is easy. Facineurus, extremely weak. Factis, vulcanized oil, used as substitute for rubber. Faction, dissident or self-seeking group, clique, dissension. Factitious, artificial, spurious. Factitive, grammar, signifying making something to be, applied to complementary object of such verb. Factoid, assumption, speculation, etc. presented, accepted, or considered as a fact. Factotum, servant of all work, general assistant. Johannes factotum, jack of all trades. Faculty, talent, capability, branch of study and is a student in university. Governing body of university or college, body of teachers and administrators in a university. Ecclesiastical, permission to add to or alter fabric of church. Facultative, granting permission, optional. Biology, able to exist in different forms and conditions. Faces, solid excrement. Dregs, faex, dregs, fex populi. Darable, fagacious, belonging to which family of trees. Fagotis, bassoon player. Faience, glazed decorative earthenware. Fainéant, idle person. Fait accompli, accomplished deed, thing done or completed about which it is too late to argue. Fakir, ascetic or mendicant. Fallacia, member of Black Jewish tribe of Ethiopia. Falcate, sickle shape. Falchion, broad curved sword. Falciform, falcate. Falderal, triple gawgaw. Fallstool, prayer desk, bishop's round armless chair. Fallopian, discovered by Fallopius, 10th century Italian physician. Fallopian tube, tube conveying egg from ovary to womb. Falsidical, giving false impression. Famulus, plural family, attendant to a sorcerer, magician. Fanfaronade, boasting blaster, blast on trumpets. Fanion, small marking flag. Fantan, gambling game in which bets are laid on number of objects as beans, meaning after a known number has been removed. Fantasin, infantryman. Fantuccini, marionettes. Farad, unit of electrical capacity, capacity of condenser charged with one coulomb, giving potential difference of 1 volt. Faradaic, pertaining to inductive current. Faradism, medical application of induced electrical currents. Farsure, joker. Farsi, disease affecting lymphatic goods of horses and cattle. Farina, flour or meal of cereals, nuts, etc. Farinaceous, like or consisting of flour. Farinose, like or yielding flour, mealy. Farouche, wild goose, shy. Farrier, horseshoeing smith. Farrieri, art or place of shoeing horses. Faro, give birth to pigs, act of giving birth to pigs, litter, fart in jail, skirt or petticoat over hoops, fasces, bundle of rods with an axe carried before ancient Roman magistrates, symbolizing authority, fascia, floral fasciae, van of color, van or layer of connective tissue, name board over shop, dashboard, fasciated, tied round with a band or fillet, stripe, fascicle, a small bundle part of book, fabulously separately, collection of printed or printed sheets, fascine, bundle of sticks used in building of fortifications, fasti, record register, calendars of ancient Rome, fastidious, very hard to please, particular about details, fussy and squeamish, fastigate, pointed, fastigate, narrowing at apex, fastigium, plural fastigia, rooftop gable, fastuous, arrogant, showy, fata morgana, mirage, fatidic, pertaining to prophecy or fortune telling, fatidical, having fatidic powers, fatwa, prescription pronounced by Islamic religious leader, faucet, American water tap, faucial, pertaining to fauces, faucitis, inflammation of fauces, fauna, floral faunae, animal life of region, period, etc. Faunist, expert on fauna, faunology, study of geographical distribution of animals, fodimio, for want of better, photoi, armchair, stall sitting chatter, membership of French Academy, faux pas, false step, social socialism, embarrassing action, fabulate, honeycomb, faviform, honeycomb-like, favonian, pertaining to Favonius, in Roman mythology the west wind, gentle, favorable, phobos, faviform, phobos, contagious parasitic skin disease, fealty, loyalty, duty, special of vassal to feudal lord, febricant, causing fever, febricity, feverishness, febrific, feverish, febricant, febrifuge, drug allaying fever, febrile, characterized by or symptomatic of fever, feverish, fecit, made it, feculent, containing or covered with filth, fecal, turbid, fecund, fertile, fecundate, make fertile, fedora, man's soft felt hat with curled brim, trilby, fee, law, heritable estate in land, fee simple, fee heritable without restrictions as to their heirs, unconditional use, fee tail, entailed fee, feedback, return of a fraction of the energy output to the energy input in a transmission system, an arrangement by which a variation in output modifies the generation of energy, information or comments returned by users, respondents, etc. Feldspar, several minerals forming part of all crystalline rocks and decomposing into clay or china clay. Felicide, killing of cat. Felicity, happiness, well-chosen word or praise. Felicipic, making happy. Felicitate, congratulate, make happy. Felicitus, well-chosen, up. Feliform, cat-like. Felinophile, lover of cats. Felinophobe, hater of cats. Fela, plural, felahin, Egyptian peasant. Fellatio, sucking penis. Fellow, wheel's rim or portion of it. Fellow de se, plural, felonous de se, self-murder or self-murderer. Felon, criminal. Felony, serious crime. Feluca, fast three-masted Mediterranean vessel, Latin sails. Femme, low, woman. Femme, covert, married woman. Femicide, unmarried woman or widow. Femicide, killing or killer of woman. Femme, woman. Femme fatale, fatal woman. Woman exercising fatal fascination or seemingly dogged by fate. Femme sabante, learned woman. Blue stocking. Femto, form of measurement meaning 1,000 million 10 to the 15th, abbreviation F. Femur, thigh bone, thigh. Fenestral, pertaining to windows, window, especially with paper, etc., instead of glass. Fenestrate, having many openings or windows. Fenestration, state of being fenestrate, disposition of windows. Fennec, small fox of Africa. Feof, heritable land granted by feudal lord, lord's right in such land. Feofe, person to whom payoff is granted. Feofor, grantor of payoff. Payofment, grant of payoff. Feracious, fecund. Feral, wild, untamed savage of animal species living in the wild, especially after previously being domesticated. Funeral. Ferae, carnivorous animals. Ferae naturae, Latin of a wild nature, animals living in the wild. Ferdilangs, large and poisonous snake of South and Central America. Feretory, shrine chapel for beer. Feria, plural feriae, feast day, holiday, ecclesiastical, day neither feast nor fast. Ferin, feral. Feringe, European, especially Portuguese born in India. Ferrity, world state barbarism. Ferrius, containing like or pertaining to iron. Ferric, pertaining to or containing iron. Ferriferous, yielding iron. Ferromagnetic, highly magnetic. Ferruginous, ferrous, pertaining to or colored like iron rust. Ferruginate, stained with iron compound. Ferrule, rod or flat ruler for punishment. Ferrulaceous, reed-like. Pubescent, becoming feverish. Fescennian, pertaining to poetry and inhabitants of ancient Fesenia, Italy. Indecent, scurrilous. Fescue, stick used by teacher as pointer. Several tall kinds of grass. Fesse, horizontal band across a shield. Festina lente, make haste slowly. Festination, haste, hurrying walk, symptom of some nervous diseases. Festscript, collection of essays or articles published in honor of a distinguished scholar. Festucine, straw-colored. Fichampetre, country feast, outdoor entertainment. Fete galante, painting of a scene of courtly romance in a pastoral setting. Fetial, pertaining to declaration of war and peace, heraldic. Fetid, stinking. Fetlock, tuft of hair on horse leg, immediately above hoof, part of leg, bearing it. Fetor, stench. Feudal, pertaining to payoff or fee, pertaining to medieval social system of overlords and vassals. Feudatory, vassal subject to feudal lord, ruler subject to overlord. Feudalism, feudal system. Feudejoy, fire of joy, firing of guns as a symbol of joy, bonfire. Feuilleton, feature and criticism page of newspaper, installment of serial story. Feuilletonist, writer of matter in feuilleton or of serial story. Fiacre, small hackney carriage. Fiat, decree, command, decision. Fiat lux, Latin, let there be light. Fibrid, one of a type of synthetic fibrous particles used in bonding. Fibrin, fibrous protein in blood formed in clotting. Fibrination, condition of having excessive fibrin in blood. Fibrinogen, substance in blood producing fibrin. Fibrinosis, disease marked by fibrination. Fibroid, of or like fiber, non-malignant fibrous tumor. Fibroma, plural fibromata, benign fibrous tumor. Fibrosis, condition of excessive fibrous formation in organ. Fibrosities, inflammatory excess of fibrous tissue growth. Fibula, plural fibulae, outer smaller bone of lower leg. Fissue, light shawl for shoulders. Fisiform, fig shape. Ficoid, fig-like. Fictile, pertaining to pottery, molded, able to be molded into shape or new shape. Fictive, imaginative, imaginary. Fideism, reliance on faith alone. Fidecinal, pertaining to a string musical instrument. Fiducial, based on faith or trust, used as a standard of reference or measurement. Fiduciary, person holding in trust, requiring trust, based on confidence especially of public. Fiduciary issue, currency issued beyond the amount backed by gold. Fief, that's which one rules. Figulin, fictile, clay vessel, object. Figulate, made of clay, fictile. Figurant, feminine, figurante, valid dancer who dances only with group. Minor character in play. Figurate, having a definite shape or form. Music, florid. Figurine, statuette. Filar, pertaining to thread, having threads across eyepiece. Filarial, pertaining to or due to threadworms. Filariasis, infestation with threadworms. Filariform, thread-like. Filature, drawing out or reeling of silk threads, apparatus or factory for doing this. Filiberg, kilt. Filibuster, irregular soldier freebooter. American, making of interminable obstructive speech, such speech or speaker, make such speech. Felicide, killing or killer of own child. Feliciform, fern shape or front shape. Filicoid, fern-like. Filiferous, bearing threads. Filiform, thread-like. Filigerous, flagellate. Filipendulous, hanging by a thread. Filocell, flush-like silk. Fils, sun. Fimbrial, pertaining to or having a fringe. Fimbriate, fringe, hem. Fimbricate, fringe. Fimbrillate, having small fringe. Fimetic, pertaining to dung. Fimiculous, living in dung. Finagle, heat trick obtained by trickery. Fangdishacal, end of century, especially of 19th century, decadent. Fingen, molding. Finial, ornament at apex of gable, etc. Finacle. Firkin, a small cask measure of capacity 9 gallons. Firman, oriental ruler's edict, authorization, etc. Fiscal, pertaining to public revenue. Fiscality, avarice. Fission, physics, splitting, especially of atomic nuclei accompanied by the release of immense energies. Fissionable, capable of being split, especially of unstable minerals used in atomic fission. Fissile, easily split, capable of nuclear fission. Fissiparous, reproducing by splitting into parts. Fissiped, having toes separated. Fistula, pipe, very deep ulcer, pipe-like passage from ulcer to surface or between hollow organs. Fistuliform, like a fistula or pipe. Fitch, hair of polecat, brush of such hair. Fitchu, polecat. Fixation, psychology, establishment in childhood of mental attitude which persists through life. Popularly, obsession, established habit. Fisgig, frivolous or coquettish girl. Flabellate, fan shape. Flabellation, use of pan to cool. Flaccid, flagellate, whip pug, whip shape, having whip-like outgrowths. Flagellant, person whipping himself as a religious practice, lashing. Flagellum, plural flagella, whip-like outgrowth, runner of plant. Flageolet, a small flute-like instrument. Flagellate, demand repeatedly. Flagitious, heinous, villainous. Flagrante delicto, the crime being still blazing, in the act of committing crime. Flambe, served in flaming brandy. Flambeau, floral flambux, burning torch. Flamen, pagan priest. Flamineus, pertaining to flamen. Flameus, flame-colored. Flammulated, ruddy. Flammulation, flame-colored or flame-shaped marking. Flaneur, idler, trifler. Flatulent, pertaining to or causing generation of gas in digestive tract. Inflated, pretentious. Flatus, gas in intestines or stomach. Flautis, flute player. Flabedo, yellowness especially of plants. Flabescent, turning yellow. Flabicant, yellow, yellowish. Flabid, golden yellow. Flens, cut up or skin, especially whale or seal. Fletcher, arrow maker. Floret, ornament in the shape of a small flower. Flus, pendulous lips, chops. Flexor, muscle bending limb. Flexure, act or state of bending or being bent. Flexus, sinus, zigzag. Flocus, woolly. Flocculate, collect into lumps or tops, having hairy tops. Flocculent, woolly, consisting of soft flakes, tufted. Flocculus, floral flocculi, flake, small tuft. Flora, floral florae, plant life of region, period, etc. Florescence, state or time of flowering. Floriated, decorated with flowers and leaves. Florican, small Indian bustard. Phyllogium, floral florigeia, collection of flowers, description of flora, anthology. Florut, he flourished, period during which person lived. Abbreviation FL, dates indicating when the person was active, especially in brackets after person's name. Flugelhorn, vowel with kiss, sax horn like musical instrument. Fluiditic, pertaining to or like a fluid, operated by the flow of a liquid or gas. Fluidics, study and application of fluidic operations. Fluminous, pertaining to or having many rivers. Flores, exhibit fluorescence. Fluorescence, emission of radiation due to absorption of radiation of different wavelengths, light, etc. so emitted. Fluoroscope, instrument for observing fluorescence. Fluoride, compound of fluorine, especially one introduced into public water supply to combat dental decay. Fluoridate, introduce fluoride into. Fluorocarbon, inert compound of carbon and fluoride used as lubricant and in manufacture of plastics and synthetic resins. Fluvial, pertaining to rivers. Fluviograph, instrument recording rivers rise and fall. Fluviology, study of water courses. Fluviometer, device for measuring river levels. Fogen, pertaining to digging. Pohen, dry warm wind blowing down northern slopes of Alps. Foliaceous, pertaining to like or consisting of leaves or laminae. Foliate, like or having leaves, divide into laminae, fit into thin plate, covered with thin coating. Foliation, formation of leaves, state of being foliate, act of foliating, consecutive numbering of leaves of books, leaf-like ornamentation. Foliferous, bearing leaves. Foliform, lip shape. Folio, folded sheet of paper, lip of book, etc. Larger size of book, number of pages of. Foliate, pertaining to or having leaflets. Folioliferous, bearing leaflets. Follicle, small deep cavity or sac. Folliculate, having or enclosed in follicle. Folliculus, like follicle. Fomes, floral pomites, substance carrying infections. Pons et origo, source and origin. Fontanelle, soft gap between the bones in a baby's skull. Fontanelle, growing by or in springs. Foramen, floral foramina, small orifice. Foraminate, having such pierce. Foraneous, pertaining to forum. Force majeure, greater force, compelling force, unavoidable circumstances. Forcipate, like forceps. Forensic, pertaining to law courts, argument, or rhetoric. Forfend, defend, forbid. Forficate, deeply pork. Formalin, aqueous solution of formaldehyde, a chemical disinfectant and preservative. Forme, page of printed matter ready for impression. Formic, pertaining to ants. Formicarian, pertaining to anthill. Formicary, anthill. Formicate, creep or swarm like ants. Formication, feeling as of ants crawling over skin. Formicide, substance destroying ants. Formicivorous, feeding on ants. Fornicate, commit fornication, vaulted ark. Fornication, sexual intercourse by an unmarried person, vaulted building. Fortuitous, by or due to chance. Fortuitousem, theory that evolutionary adaptations are due to chance. Fortuity, chance occurrence. Forum, plural fora. Marketplace, general meeting place for discussion, law courts. Fossa, plural fosse. Depression or cavity, example in bone. Fossick, search for by turning or picking over, especially for gold, rummage. Fossorial, for use in digging. Fossor, grave digger. Fodriant, medicine, beginning very suddenly and severely, dazzling. Fouet, volley movement in which the dancer stands on one foot and makes a whip-like movement with the other. Fumart, polecat. Fovated, pitted. Fobulate, bearing small pits. Frenulum, fold of membrane retaining an organ as beneath the tongue. Francolin, South Asiatic and African partridge. Francterior, floral pranksteriours, member of irregular infantile corps. Frangible, brittle. Fraternize, be friendly, especially with residents in occupied enemy territory, enemy soldiers, etc. Fratricide, killing or killer of brother or sister. Frau, plural prowen, married woman, Mrs. Fraulein, unmarried woman, Miss. Fremartin, sterile female twin calf. Freiherr, plural Freiherren, Baron. Fremitus, vibration. Phrenate, having a prenum. Frenetic, frantic person. Fresco, watercolor painting on wet plaster, paint in fresco. Fresco seco, such painting on dry plaster. Fretum, floral preta, constriction. Friable, easily crumbled. Fricative, sound made by friction of breath force through narrow passage as S, F. Frigoric, pertaining to cold. Frigiferous, causing cold. Fringillin, like a finch belonging to finch family of birds. Fringillaceous, finch-like. Frise, fabric with raised nap. Frisette, curly fringe often of artificial hair worn onto the forehead. Frisket, parchment or paper mass used in printing or retouching work. Frisson, thrill, shudder, shiver. Frit, prepared material from which gas is made. Fritillary, several kinds of spotted butterfly and bulbous plant. Frondes, open leaves. Frondiferous, bearing leaves or fronds. Frondiform, frond shape. Frondivorous, feeding on leaves. Frondose, having or like leaves. Frontogenesis, meeting of two different air currents creating weather front. Frottage, rubbing, especially the marking of rubbings on thin paper of objects underneath, example ornamental brushes. Fructify, become or make fruitful. Fructiferous, bearing fruit. Fructiform, like fruit. Fructivorous, feeding on fruit. Frumenti, dish of hot wet boiled in milk with sugar. Frumentaceous, like or made of green. Fruticent, like a shrub. Fruticetum, botanical garden of shrubs. Fruticulous, like a small shrub. FSH, abbreviation of follicle stimulating hormone, lack of which is a cause of infertility in women. Fucus, plural pussy, kind of flat seaweed, rockweed. Fucoid, plant like seaweed. Fagelman, soldier standing in front of others to demonstrate drill, etc. model. Fugue, strictly contrapuntal and highly developed musical composition, psychology, flight from one's own identity, often involving wandering away from one's usual surroundings. Fulcrum, plural fulcra, support point or support on which lever rests. Fulcrate, having a fulcrum. Fulgent, radiant. Fulgid, glittering. Fulgurant, like lightning. Fulgurate, flash. Fulgurating, medicine applied to intense sudden pains. Fulgurous, flashing. Fuliginous, like soot. Fulmar, gull like seabird. Fulminate, explode thunder denounced in loud or violent manner. Fulminant, medicine developing suddenly. Fulminaeus, pertaining to or like thunder and lightning. Fulbous, tawny. Fulbescent, somewhat tawny. Fumarole, volcanoes smoke vent. Fumatory, place for fumigating. Fumidac, smoke vent. Funambulist, tightrope walker. Fundamentalism, belief in the literal truth of all biblical statements, miracles, etc. Fundiform, sling shape. Fundus, waste of an organ or part farthest from its opening. Fungible, thing mutually interchangeable. Fungicide, substance killing fungus. Fungistatic, substance preventing fungus growth. Funicular, pertaining to small cord, rope, or tension. Funicular railway, cable mounted in railway. Funiform, cord or rope-like. Funipendulous, hanging by a rope. Forkate, branch. Forcellate, slightly branch. Forcula, floral porculae, any fork-like part, especially the wishbone. Forfor, scarf. Forforation, falling of dandruff. Foriban, furious. Furlough, leave holiday. Frumenti, furore, outburst of public indignation, outburst of enthusiasm. First, floral person, noble next in rank to duke, prince. Furuncle, boil. Furunculoid, like a boil. Furunculosis, outbreak of boils. Fusarole, decoration resembling a string of beads. Fuscous, dark in color, tawny. Fusy, large-headed match spirally grooved spindle used as counterweight in old clocks. Fusiform, spindle shape. Fustian, coarse cotton cloth, bombas, made of postan, pampas. Fustic, tropical American tree yielding yellow dye. Fustigate, bit with a cudgel. Fusuma, sliding paper screen separating rooms in Japanese house. Futon, Japanese padded quilt unrolled on the floor as a bed.
A few moments later.
Salamat po ng napakarami po sa inyo po panood. Kung nyo po ito pong nagustuhan, ay maaari po natin po itong share. Hanggang sa muli po, goodbye po!